Your self-esteem, first of all, is shattered by a narcissist. Every opportunity they get, they will make you feel like shit. They will say things about your weight, things about the things you eat, things about how you look, things about how you talk, things about how dumb you are. They will make you feel like total crap, caca. But when you pick yourself up from that, what comes out of that is more beautiful, more magnificent than anything you can ever experience. The level of self-confidence you gain after coming out of this relationship, it's a blessing. It's actually a gift. Hello, darling. Hi, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel for yet another fruitful conversation. And if you're new here and you like me, please subscribe. Thank you. So today we're going to be talking about narcissism. And I love that this has become a trend, almost like a mainstream topic. But I also feel like there's a lot of misinformation out there. I want to start off with a disclaimer. This video is not intended to talk about any specific individual. This is more an impersonal topic to me than it is personal. It's more a collective issue, actually, because 50 to 75% of men struggle with narcissism. That's a big number. It's a collective issue. I am not referring to any specific individual in this video. Have we made that clear? Okay, let's go. I'm sure we've all come across such individuals who have narcissistic personality disorder, and there is levels to it depending on the level of sadism in the individual. I won't bore you with all the psychological research of narcissists and the history. And no, let's just cut to the chase. These are the signs and symptoms of someone struggling with narcissistic personality disorder. The first one is the belief that you're special or more important than others. This is actually a neurobiological issue. The cortical thickness, when you examine the brain of a person suffering from narcissistic personality disorder, is different from that of a healthy individual. That is to say that that is the organ of the mind that affects our self-esteem. It's not just something random, it's actually a health issue. Like someone else is struggling with cancer, maybe, and they've been diagnosed with cancer. That's a physical issue. Narcissistic personality disorder is also a health issue, only that it's mental. Fantasies about power, success, and attractiveness. These are the people who will bore you talking about their achievements. Failure to recognize other people's needs and feelings. They have a chronic lack of empathy. And that's because the anterior insular cortex part of the brain is what is responsible for empathy. For narcissistic individuals, this part tends to be tampered with. The neurons inside there are literally not working right, and that's why they do not have the capacity to feel someone else's or recognize somebody else's feelings and emotions. They are not capable of compassion. They're not capable of empathy. You know how you're just walking around and then you see a child fall, and maybe the child is not even yours, you don't know them, but something inside you goes, oh, I'm so sorry for them. Well, for a narcissist, they don't have the capacity for that. So when you're in a relationship with this person, they don't get when you're feeling bad. They don't understand when you're feeling sad. They don't understand when you're feeling low. Expectation of constant praise and admiration. This is the person who wants you to keep telling them how amazing they are, and you better keep doing that. You better keep licking the bottom of their shoe. And when you don't do that, they become aggressive. That's another characteristic. Aggression. It's almost like they don't know how to contain anger. They don't know how to deal with it. So in a situation which is stressful, they become very arrogant and aggressive. They're more likely to throw fits, say nasty things, even violence. Unreasonable expectations of advantages and favors. They always want you to put yourself on the line for them. Honestly, when you think about what it's like to be a narcissist, it makes you feel a huge amount of compassion, because these individuals like Trump, these individuals, in their world, it's just loneliness and sadness and emptiness and mostly sometimes boredom. That was the psychological perspective. Let's get to the spiritual perspective, because this is the Ivy Wakio channel and we talk about spirituality a lot. There can only be two things. It's either light or darkness. You're either moving towards one of them. It's either light or darkness. People who are moving towards light can experience low moments. Moments of fear, moments of guilt, moments of doubt, moments of sadness, moments of anger, but they're just that, moments. But narcissistic individuals tend to live in that space of darkness. Usually, there are people who've gone through intense trauma, intense childhood trauma, which just changes them. And they decide to stay stuck in their pain. They decide to stay stuck in their sadness. I mean, we have all experienced negative things. We've all experienced trauma. Each and every one of us can raise their hands and say something traumatic that has happened to them. But how you choose to react to that is what determines whether you're moving towards light or whether you're moving towards darkness. If you choose forgiveness, if you choose compassion, then you're moving towards light. But if you choose to harbor anger, if you choose to stay fearful and guilty, then you're moving towards darkness. That's why I'm calling them portals. Because as human beings, we are portals for whatever we choose to bring forth. Obviously, if you're on this channel, you are mostly moving towards light. But for narcissistic individuals, their energy is just constantly stuck in guilt, fear, and shame, and just everything wrong. And some spiritual perspectives call them demons. I don't like using that word because of the religious connotation it has, but I can understand the understanding that vibrationally, they're vibrating on a very, very low frequency, almost to a point where light is not going through. So because they are vibrating on a very low frequency, they become energy vampires. They are like a vacuum that is constantly sucking energy. Have you ever gone out with someone to hang out with them, and then you just come home feeling depleted? You're just feeling tired. You cannot even explain why, but you're just feeling fatigued. You're just feeling done. You're feeling spent. It's because you become the energy for them. So because they're a vacuum inside, they're constantly sucking your energy. And that's why you leave the room feeling tired, feeling fatigued. Being in a relationship with these individuals can be very, very daunting. It's difficult. Whether it's a romantic relationship, a platonic friendship, or a parental relationship, this can be the most daunting thing you'll ever do in your life. Why? Because they do not have the capacity to self-reflect. Relationships require authenticity. Relationships require vulnerability. But these individuals, because of their neurobiological makeup, they're not able, they do not have the capacity to self-reflect. So a romantic relationship with a narcissist looks something like this. First, you meet them and they love bomb you. They are the men who will send you the flowers, take you out on dates, buy you beautiful things, and they'll give you the hottest love making. They're just amazing for the first 3 months. And then you settle into the relationship or you get married to them and you're like, wait a minute, who's this person I'm with? Like, it's like they just changed. All of a sudden, they are saying very negative and nasty stuff to you, towards you. They are belittling. Oh, narcissists love this. It's their way of feeling important, their sense of self-importance, belittling people. When they just make you feel small, they say things to just drag you down and put you down. Seriously, pin you down. They are the people who turn to manipulative monsters and they just manipulate you, they guilt trip you, they're gonna take you down, baby. If it's a friend, this is the person who is constantly jealous of you. They envy you, right? And they're constantly saying things to make you feel bad, to make you feel small. Somebody will say something like, oh my God, you've become so fat, so randomly, just to make you feel bad. If it's a parental relationship, the parent never ever perceives of their child as an individual. The child will always remain an extension of themselves. Everything they do to the child is to accentuate their sense of self. There's a famous psychologist here on YouTube called Dr. Ramani. So if you're struggling with a narcissistic relationship, she would be extremely helpful for you because she's done like every form of research about narcissists and healing from narcissistic relationships. It's actually amazing. Check her out here on YouTube. I don't like to refer to myself as a victim of narcissistic abuse. I like referring to myself as a survivor of narcissistic abuse. I think the word victim can leave you in victim consciousness. So I advise you to use the word survivor more than victim. Now, if you're like me, a survivor of narcissistic relationships, these are some of the things you really, really need to know, boo, if you want to accelerate your healing process other than stunt it. The first thing is these people will never ever change. They will never ever 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 change. Get that straight into your medulla oblongata today, now. The fact is they won't change. Why? Because they cannot. The sooner you let go of the expectation of them ever changing, the quicker you heal. Because every time you're around them, you'll just be expecting, okay, today he's gonna say something nasty, or he's gonna do something, just to make me feel bad, and I'm gonna cry in the evening. You're just seeing it coming. So you don't end up frustrated, you don't end up resentful because you saw it coming even before it came. They're not going to change. Get that straight. They will never take accountability. In relationships, it's normal for people to hurt each other because we are human, we are imperfect. But when we do hurt each other, the one thing that breeds healthy conflict resolution is when someone can look you in the eye and say, hey, I know what I did hurt you. Even though I had the best intentions, what I did really, really hurt you. And I'm sorry. Now listen and listen well, Abi. A narcissist can never take accountability for their actions. If anything, they will always find a way to blame it back on you. But you did this. They will gaslight you, tell you things like, oh, take a joke, or oh my God, like you're so sensitive. They will always find a way to bounce it back on you. So if you're expecting that they will come back and say sorry for something they did, even though they know what they did was wrong, they will not, because they cannot. The other thing is never, ever, ever tell a narcissist they are narcissistic. Never. And because of the confusion of narcissistic relationships, when you come across this information, you just feel like, oh my God, I have the answer. Here's the answer. They are narcissistic. Let me go tell them. Listen. The worst mistake you can make is tell a narcissist, hey, you are a narcissist, because they just cannot take it. They are just too damn insecure to look within and think, oh wait, maybe something could be wrong with me. And that's why they have this sense of self-importance, because of the insecurity. When you tell a narcissist that they're narcissistic, it will only backfire back on you, because they will end up being more aggressive towards you. They will end up saying nasty shit that will end up hurting you. Don't tell them. This information is for you. This information is for you as a person healing from a narcissistic relationship. Never ever seek validation or understanding from a narcissist. You will find yourself constantly trying to explain. Constantly trying to explain yourself. No, but this happened. No, but it was like this. No, but this is where I'm coming from. Listen, they will not understand. They are too self-involved. It's almost like they live in their own bubble of life. It's always like they're just in this bubble of me and me and I and myself and me and me and me and me, and everything just revolves around me. So expecting that they are ever going to understand your perspective is quite an overstretch. And honestly, you will end up really, really hurt. Like you'll get hurt so many times until you get it straight in your head that they're just not gonna get it. They won't. Even if they wanted to, they will not, because they cannot. The last thing is you have to regulate contacts. Narcissistic individuals are not people who you can be in a normal relationship with. And that's just the truth. Because a relationship requires authenticity, a relationship requires vulnerability, and these individuals are just not capable of that. So you have to regulate contact. There are many ways to regulate contact. The first one is no contact, like just none at all. As long as I'm alive on this planet, I am dead to you. The other one is low contact, where we interact every once in a blue moon. And then there's yellow rocking, where you're Even when you're around them, you're just emotionally disconnected from them and everything else. Then there's gray rocking, where you can be around them and you can be cordial with them, but you're still emotionally disconnected to protect yourself. All these are forms of contact Dr. Ramani talks a lot about on her YouTube channel, so check that out. I'll leave it in the description box for you. I know being a survivor of narcissistic relationship is one of the hardest things you can ever do on this world. It really is. These individuals are like nightmares. It's just like a nightmare. Whether this person is your boyfriend, your friend, your parent, your mother, your sister, whoever this person is, it's very difficult dealing with it. It's just daunting. But I've come to understand from my own healing that these people are put in our journey for our elevation of consciousness. Just hear me. Just hear me first. Hear me out, sweetie. I know it can sound like a contradiction because they cause a lot of our pain, they cause a lot of our hurt. But here's what I realized as I continued to heal on my journey. I realized that this healing journey reconnected me back to something deeper. It elevated my consciousness in ways which it would never have been possible if this narcissistic human being was not in my life. If not for the abuse, if not for the emotional abuse, I wouldn't be who I am today. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying the universe thought it out. God thought it out for you. Like God put this person strategically in your life so you can do the work to reconnect back to him. You find yourself connecting back to yourself in deeper ways. So don't woye yourself. You're not a victim. No, trust me, God calculated this and God is with you every step of the way, and everything you're going through is really to reconnect back to him. Okay, I love you so much and thank you for watching this video to the end. If you're dealing with a narcissistic person right now, what words would I tell you? It's gonna be okay. Really, it's gonna be okay. It may not feel like it, but it's gonna be okay. I love you. Bye.